Yes, recently I was lucky enough to get my hands on Sonic Forces of all things, only a demo of course, but nevertheless I managed to play the game and honestly, it's not good. When I was playing the modern Sonic levels, honestly, it felt a lot like Sonic 06. Generations was pretty good, Colors was great. It's just infuriating that they can't see what is wrong with modern Sonic. What is it, Sonic Team? Why can't you see it?
I think I have a pretty good idea why they don't understand what it is you want. Yeah. Anyways, hello Procrastinator, Sam here, and yes, we have another one of these videos where I believe the bias against Sonic is still continuing. Now, no, it is not IGN bad, so don't worry about that, but I believe this video I'm about to show you guys still raises a lot of concerns for us in the Sonic community, and maybe some questions that we need to answer. Now, before I start, I just want to make it clear that I myself have not played Sonic Forces yet. So just because an individual claims Sonic Forces is a bad game is not enough of a reason for me to attack them, especially since I have not played the game and because it is their opinion. But that doesn't mean I can't critique someone's argument based off of my past experience with Sonic games. And since Sonic Forces plays a lot like the past games, I think I'm pretty experienced enough to defend Sonic Forces even before playing it. And I hope throughout this video you will see that all I am doing is just laying out his argument step by step, creating his own downfall because his argument is just so faulty. So with all that out of the way, let's start the video by Nintendo Life. Wait, that's the name of the channel? No wonder they hate Sonic Forces. It's not even subtle.
Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and I'm afraid today I've got to be the bearer of bad news. Although, to be honest, I think a lot of people saw this coming.
Wow, new record. It's only been 10 seconds and I already had to interrupt you. Now, it's a pretty bold statement to say that a lot of people saw this coming, considering that the people that are making Sonic Forces made Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations, which you later claimed this video are fantastic games. And considering those games came out over 5 years ago, really tells me that Sonic Forces has been in development for some time. So, if you ask me, a large majority of people actually have faith in Sonic Team this time around because they don't have to rush. They're taking their time with this game. But, I guess only time will tell. Now, one more thing I want to add about that statement that a lot of people saw this coming is that this really tells me that you're just one of those people that automatically assumes the worst out of a Sonic game before it releases. Honestly, it's not a good look for you, and it's a really childish way about going about a game series.
Yes, recently I was lucky enough to get my hands on Sonic Forces of all things, only a demo of course, but nevertheless I managed to play the game and honestly, it's not good. Now, before anybody runs to the comments saying, you're just a Sonic hater, please, for the love of God, believe me when I say I'm not a Sonic hater. I love the Sonic series. I love it to death. It just hasn't been good in so long, you know?
Now, for him saying he's not a Sonic hater, I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. But for him to say that the Sonic series has not been good in so long is just not true, guys. Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, yes, absolutely bombed. But Sonic Boom Fire and Ice is actually pretty decent. And Sonic Lost World, in my opinion, wasn't that bad. And if you don't agree with any of these, the least I could tell you is Sonic Generations came out about 5 years ago, which in the grand scheme of things really isn't that long for video games, guys. So to say the Sonic series has just been horrible recently, just not true.
I was getting really excited and I thought maybe finally Sonic Forces would be a really good Sonic game, a really good 3D Sonic game, but it's just not. It's exactly the same as every other bad modern Sonic games, and there have been some good ones. Generations was pretty good, Colors was great, but Sonic Forces, it's the same mistakes again, and it's so depressing.
Alright, so if you guys didn't catch all that, I'll try to break it down for you. So he starts out by saying that Sonic Forces is just not a good 3D Sonic game, and that it's as bad as every other bad modern Sonic game. But then he goes on to say that Sonic Generations and Sonic Colors were good. So my question is, what other bad modern Sonic game is he referring to? Because saying Sonic Forces is like Sonic Lost World or Sonic Boom in any other way other than writing is just incorrect. And I could already tell you, Sonic Forces, without even playing it, is going to play like Sonic Generations and Sonic Colors. So, his argument got debunked by himself. Huh. Strange. Oh, but wait, it's not done. After that mess of an argument, he then goes on to say that Sonic Forces is making the same mistakes again. And it's so frustrating. Well, let me tell you something. What are these mistakes he's talking about? Beats me, because he never specifies. And expect that to happen a lot throughout the rest of this video.
I played 3 stages. One of them was a classic Sonic level, and it was just a boss. One of them was a modern Sonic level, and it was, you know, what you'd expect. It was running around a city. And the other one was the Avatar stage, so that was running around as a custom character. And honestly, none of it was really very good. None of it ran very well. It was just honestly kind of a hot mess.
Alright, so when he starts to talk about his experiences while playing the game, he then starts to give vague answers as to reasons why he doesn't even like the game. Like saying none of it was really very good and it was all just a hot mess. Again, he never specifies what about the game is wrong. Now for him to say the game wasn't running very well, I can't really say much about that because again, I never played the game and I wasn't there when he played it. But I can tell you that this is the first time I heard anybody say that Sonic Forces was not running good. I remember during E3, when hundreds of people got to play the game, everybody was saying Sonic Forces was running smoothly on all platforms. Yes, including Switch. But hey, this is what he's claiming.
I think the biggest problem about it was just the fact that it was a bad idea to begin with. I mean, the idea of bringing avatars in, good, you know, sort of you can work around that.
Wait, what?
I think the biggest problem about it was just the fact that it was a bad idea to begin with. I mean, the idea of bringing avatars in, good, you know, sort of you can work around that.
Alright, so is it a good idea or a bad idea to bring in custom characters? Because you're doing a complete 180 in the span of a second. How do you do that?
But the way that they've implemented them is it's basically modern Sonic, but you're not very fast and you're running around with a weapon that you just sort of activate, and you can choose the weapon, but none of them are very interesting. It slows down the gameplay in a way that doesn't work. I mean, modern Sonic is, to be honest, it's too fast now. Sonic was not always about going fast. It was about gaining momentum and earning that speed and then trying to keep that speed and then, you know, sort of maybe having to slow down for something else, finding different pathways. It wasn't just about going as fast as possible and stopping every so often to defeat a load of enemies, and that's just exactly what Sonic Forces is, and it's so annoying.
Alright, so based off of everything he just said, I don't really have a problem with what he believes is wrong with modern Sonic. In fact, in some cases, I can agree with him. But when it comes down to him complaining about the custom characters, again, I can't say much because I haven't played it yet. And I hope you guys understand.
I actually reached out to you lovely people on Twitter to find out what you felt was wrong about modern Sonic games, and I was reading through the list, so thank you for that, by the way. But as I was going down the list and seeing what you all were saying, I could just almost every single one of the things that you said was wrong with the modern Sonic franchise, I could just tick them off and say, yeah, that's in Sonic Forces, that's in Sonic Forces, and it's just infuriating that they can't see what is wrong with modern Sonic. What is it, Sonic Team? Why can't you see it?
No, Alex. The only thing that is infuriating is that you can never go into detail or explain what it is you don't like about this game. Seriously, look at this clip again.
Every single one of the things that you said was wrong with the modern Sonic franchise, I could just tick them off and say, yeah, that's in Sonic Forces, that's in Sonic Forces.
What's in Sonic Forces? What is it about this game that you don't like? You're not explaining. What is in each checkmark that's in Sonic Forces that you don't like? Go into detail, Alex. But no, you're not. And then you expect Sonic Team to know? Give me a break.
You know, as I said before, Sonic Colors was good. I really enjoyed Sonic Colors. Generations was good as well. Sonic Colors, honestly, in my opinion, is the best 3D Sonic game. It's even better, in my opinion, than Sonic Adventure 2. Which feels weird to say, but then again, Sonic Adventure 2, on the whole, wasn't a great game. I mean, the Sonic sections and the Shadow sections, they were good. But everything else was kind of not.
And just to show you guys that I'm not being a complete hypocrite and hitting on everything he's saying, I do agree with him there about Sonic Adventure 2.
When I was playing the modern Sonic levels, honestly, it felt a lot like Sonic 06. I mean, it was definitely more refined than Sonic 06. I'm not going to say it's as buggy as Sonic 06 or anything by that regard. I'm not saying it's that bad. It is better than Sonic 06. It's okay. It's not as bad as that. It felt a lot like Sonic 06. It felt a lot like Sonic 06.
And now you lost me. Congratulations, Alex. You're bringing up a game that came out 11 years ago to prove your point. And by the way, I can safely say that there's absolutely no reason to be comparing Sonic Forces to Sonic 06. This game is completely different, and this is the saddest attempt to ever shoehorn Sonic 06 into your argument to get attention.
But it just felt like I was playing half the game. And I mean, you know, I was only half in control of the game. The game seemed to be doing most of the work for you. It's just things like, it's just so basic. The gameplay is too basic. And not in a way that is charming or that is to its benefit, but in the sense that you just hold Y and just try and go as fast as possible. You know, plow through enemies and jobs are good and you're done. You've gone through a loop. Hooray! It's Sonic! It's Sonic! Hello! Hi! It's Sonic! Also, the level was really, really short, which is bad.
Now, about the level being short, you gotta understand, you're playing a demo with 3 playable characters. So I'm pretty sure them choosing a short level from Hot Sonic was probably on purpose. And no, I don't believe that every stage in the game is going to be this short. I'm almost certain this is also the first stage. So again, let's take that with a grain of salt.
I know there are some people who really love Sonic, even the modern Sonic games, and if you do, then that is great. Then, you know, sort of please enjoy this game, but to anyone who's on the fence, we're really going to have to see a lot of changes, a lot of good stuff come out of Sonic Forces before it's going to be anything close to a recommendation. It's just every mistake they could have made, they made, pretty much, except they didn't bring the Werehog back. That's good.
Every mistake they could have made, they made? What are you talking about, Alex? What mistake? Can you for once back up your claims? What are these mistakes you're talking about? Are you purposely trying to be vague? Because this is just getting repetitive at this point. Also, bringing up the Werehog, acting like Sega's ever going to bring that back is really pushing your luck.
I know I've talked briefly about the Avatar stages, but I want to bring back something else. The avatars will all feel exactly the same. In the demo, you were assigned a random character that was randomly generated, and immediately alarm bells started ringing when that happened. So, you know, I thought to myself, well, I'll give it a chance, but then I played a couple of times and I talked to other people. It just feels exactly the same every time. So your custom character is basically cosmetic, except there are some sort of subtle things, but they didn't feel like they came across in gameplay at all. It didn't tell me about the differences. It didn't do anything to say, you know, this is your custom character. It didn't let me create my custom character. You know, sort of understandable, it's a demo. But even so, it just feels hollow. It feels really, really hollow. And I'm just annoyed.
Now, to be fair, these are legitimate concerns he has for the custom characters, but I think these are really concerns because they're a demo. I don't think Sega is going to show you all the gadgets the custom characters has in the demo, and I'm pretty sure they'll have a lot more depth in the full game. So again, take what he says with a grain of salt.
Even the classic Sonic stage, which was just a boss fight, as I said before, even that felt wrong. It felt stilted and dull. I mean, I'm guessing it's probably the first boss fight, judging by it looks like it's in Green Hill Zone and stuff like that, but even then, it's just a case of, you know, jumping out the way. It's not hard. It's not hard at all.
Again with the vague comments. All he just said was that the classic Sonic stage felt wrong. What does that mean? The control, the level design? What is it? Alright, so I just want to make this clear. So you just said that you believe this is the first boss in the game, and then you go on to criticize it for not being hard? Newsflash, Alex, but in most platformers, the first boss usually isn't hard. Just saying. Also, explaining the boss fight as a matter of just jumping out of the way is pretty dumb, considering that's how you can explain any boss fight ever in any platformer. You could say that about Mario, Sonic, any game, literally any game. Sorry, but that doesn't prove your point.
The controls feel a bit janky. The performance, honestly, is a little bit embarrassing. It's displaying at a low resolution. It honestly feels like they've gone for spectacle over gameplay and substance, but the spectacle isn't very good. It's just like they've gone for the worst of everything.
Now, when it comes to him complaining about the control of the game, it doesn't make much sense to me, considering that the game engine used in Sonic Forces is the same that was used in Generations and Colors. Both games that he said he likes. So again, I'm not sure why he's saying it's the controls that are bad now. It's kind of like he's shooting down his own argument with himself. Again, it's not adding up. Also, him complaining about the performance of this game as being embarrassing doesn't really make much sense to me, considering that there are hundreds of gameplay videos out there, people playing the demo for this, and it's running smoothly on all consoles. So unless this guy is just really unlucky, or he's stretching the truth to make a point, I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. Now, something I want to point out about him complaining about the low resolution of the game is that I'm pretty sure that he was playing the Switch version of the game, because when he was explaining the boost button, he was explaining it being on the Y button, which is on a Switch controller, and whenever he would show gameplay during his video, he would always have a disclaimer that this is not Switch footage. So this leads me to believe that he played the Switch version of the game, making him think that this game just has horrible graphics. No, Alex, you're playing an inferior version of the game. And yes, we all know this. The Switch doesn't have the graphic capability as the other consoles. It's just how it is. Now, I'm not saying the Switch is bad, but when it comes down to graphics, it is inferior. So you're going to get a lower resolution compared to the other consoles. So please do not say that this is how the game looks across the board. This is just for that version. We've already seen how the game looks on the PS4 and Xbox One, and it looks fantastic. So again, I don't really know what he's talking about.
And I'm just so frustrated because Colors is like the archetype of how to make a good modern Sonic game. And I know a lot of people say, well, that was only because the 2D sections were good. But honestly, no, I think, the 3D sections as well were good. It rewarded speed. So as I was saying, yes, Sonic Colors is a good game, even the 3D sections. The Wisps brought something new to it, and the Wisps are back in this latest game as well. But honestly, they feel... the only Wisp I think I found was one that allowed me to do the light speed dash, which is where you dash along a load of rings, which felt like a good way to include it because it was a little bit more reliable. But at the same time, it just wasn't very good. It didn't seem to sort of open up the world at all. It was just, hey, here's a line of rings. You can either just run, or you can go up the line of rings and go in a marginally different pattern, but you're still going to the same location. There was no reward for using the Wisps and thinking outside the box or anything like that. There was no opportunity to think outside the box, and it's...
Oh, seriously? You're complaining about the Wisps in the game now? Come on, as you described, the Wisps are nothing fancy. Like, the Wisp you found was just the Wisp that helps you do the light speed dash. I'm pretty sure you only found this once in one part of the stage in the small demo. I don't think you should be focusing so hard about this one demo and completely thinking this is how the whole game is going to be. You only played the first couple stages. I really think you should wait and see the full game, where the stages get longer and more accessible depending on what Wisp you use. I'm sure they're going to do that because they did it in the past.
Why can't they just... Why can't they see that this is not what Sonic fans want?
Ugh, I'm sorry, but I absolutely hate it when someone tries to throw their opinion as the way a whole fan base should think. Honestly, Alex, you have no right to say what Sonic fans want and don't want. Especially since at the beginning of the game, you assumed the absolute worst out of Sonic Forces. You had zero hope for the game, even before seeing anything. So no, you are not a fan, and you have no right to tell us what we want and don't want.
I've been a Sonic fan since the very beginning, since the very first Sonic game. I owned the Master System versions as well. In fact, it wasn't until recently I owned the Mega Drive versions. Not properly anyway, because I never owned a Mega Drive. But it's just, it might as well be an entirely different franchise now. I mean, it's not Sonic.
Seriously? What changed so much in that small demo that makes you think it's not Sonic now? You are just so overdramatic.
And also, all the bloody characters are back. Charmy B is just the worst character ever created by anything ever. He's got the most annoying voice, and is just, honestly, he's got a pretty bad design as well.
Wow. Now you're just scraping the bottom of the barrel, Alex. What, did you run out of nonsense to say and have to shit on characters returning? Newsflash, Alex, but shitting on the other characters was cool 10 years ago. Honestly, I would say most fans actually miss the characters since we haven't seen them in so long.
Which is saying something for Sonic, because Sonic characters, generally, their designs are pretty good. Sonic himself especially. I think Sonic has only survived because of his design, because his games are no longer that good.
Dude, you cannot be serious right now. You said the reason why Sonic made it through 25 years is because of his character design?
20 minutes later.
Alex. Alright, listen, Alex. I heard a lot of dumb shit in my life, and that one pretty much makes the top of the chart.
And I just want a good Sonic game. I just want a good Sonic game to come out. I just want what the fans want. I just want a good Sonic game. None of this gimmicky nonsense. Even if it was just a 2D game, just a good Sonic game. Oh, wait.
Alright, and on that note, Alex pretty much ends the video with a message to all people saying that classic Sonic is the only way Sonic should ever exist, and that modern Sonic is obviously insuperior to that. And to that, I say bullshit. Yes, I love classic Sonic, and yes, I am excited for Mania. I'm so excited for that game. I even got the collector's edition. But that is not just what Sonic is about. Sonic has been in 3D since 1999, longer than he's ever been in 2D. So for you to act like classic Sonic is the only way Sonic to go is a really foolish statement. That's the real reason why Sonic has been around this long, because he's actually made the transition decently well into 3D. Some game platforms like Bubsy died from that. So I think you need to take your nostalgia classics off and realize that games evolve over time and you just have to deal with it. Alright everyone, that's the video. And I just want to remind everyone that this video is just purely my opinion and what I think the Nintendo Life video is really trying to say. Yes, I don't think the Nintendo Life video was written well. Do I think Alex is just the purest of Sonic haters? No. But do I think that he's clearly has some sort of bias against it? Hell yes. So I just want to hear your guys' opinions. Let me know in the comments and we'll have a civil discussion about this below. And one more quick thing I want to add, just to put the cherry on top of the shit sundae, is that, well, look at the thumbnail and the title for his video. It was clearly made just to piss us Sonic fans off and to get us triggered. Well, congratulations, Alex. You did it. Also, if you want to watch the whole video for yourself, there's a link below in the description. If you think I may have edited something weird or something like that, go watch the whole video for yourself and then come back and tell me what you think. So again, I want to leave you guys off with this question. Was Alex from Nintendo Life being biased, or were we just looking at things a little too much? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Down below, join my Discord. It's a really great Sonic community down there. And if you guys also want to stay up to date on this channel, follow me on Twitter. And if you guys really want to stay up to date on gaming videos, go ahead and join my Let's Play channel. I'll be uploading a lot more games there from now on in celebration of Sonic Mania. So with all that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is Sam, signing out. Have a good day.